Democrats and the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10.
The daytime television world has just experienced one of its most shocking and talked about moments. In a story that's been grabbing everyone's attention, Joy Behar, the longtime co-host of The View, has officially left the show. This has all happened after a whirlwind of controversy, lawsuits, and chaos on social media. What could have caused Behar, who has been an outspoken and dominant figure on daytime TV for so many years, to leave the show?
Speaking of Donald Trump, I was stunned and amazed by his new White House spokeswoman today. She's actually the youngest ever in that job.
Buckle up, because this story is filled with drama, irony, and plenty of people pointing fingers. Let's break down the details of what led to Behar's departure and why it has set the media world on fire. It all started on a recent episode of The View, a show known for its heated debates and fiery opinions. During this episode, Behar made a comment that left many people in shock. While discussing Karine Jean-Pierre, the newly appointed White House press secretary under President Joe Biden, Behar made a suggestion that Jean-Pierre was given the position mainly because of her appearance.
Karoline Leavitt, she's just 27 years old, but boy, was she giving it to the Trump haters in her first White House briefing.
Yes, you read that right. Behar's words were seen by many as a complete disregard for Jean-Pierre's professional qualifications and experience. Karine Jean-Pierre, at just 27 years old, became the youngest person ever to hold the role of White House press secretary. Despite her youth, she has an impressive resume, including experience working as a communications director for major Republican campaigns and serving in former President Trump's administration. But instead of discussing Jean-Pierre's skills and credentials, Behar reduced her to just her looks.
Because she said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you.
This comment didn't sit well with many people, and it sparked an immediate wave of criticism. The backlash started immediately. Viewers in the studio gasped audibly when Behar made the comment. Even some of Behar's fellow co-hosts on the show looked uncomfortable with what she had said. Alyssa Farah Griffin, a former Trump administration staffer and one of the show's co-hosts, quickly responded. She pointed out that Jean-Pierre's appointment wasn't just her first job, but her first press briefing, suggesting that Behar's comments were out of line.
Without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
Because women were not invited to that table.
What happened next was even more intense. Social media exploded with criticism from all sides. Both fans and critics came out in full force, calling out Behar for the hypocrisy of her statement, especially considering her long history of advocating for women's rights and empowerment. One social media user wrote, "If a Republican said anything remotely like that, they'd be torn apart." Another person added, "Behar just proved once again that The View only supports women who think like them." The drama didn't stop there. Karine Jean-Pierre, the White House press secretary herself, wasn't about to let Behar's comment slide. Instead of issuing a public statement, she took legal action, filing a defamation lawsuit against Behar.
Isn't it rich that The View is saying she got the job based on looks when DEI is all about based on looks?
Jean-Pierre accused Behar of making malicious comments that were not only false, but also meant to damage her reputation. This lawsuit hit Behar and ABC, the network that airs The View, with a major blow. Behind the scenes at ABC, executives were reportedly scrambling to figure out how to deal with the situation. Should they issue a public apology? Should Behar be suspended? Or was it time to sever ties with her altogether?
No, it's not. So first of all, and I have had my objections to the job that Karine Jean-Pierre did, but she worked in politics for 21 years, 5 presidential campaigns, and worked in 2 administrations.
The tension at ABC was palpable, as some staff members rushed to defend Behar, while others quietly admitted that the situation had spiraled out of control. It's important to note that Behar has been at the center of controversy before. However, this time the stakes were much higher. The combination of a lawsuit and intense public backlash left ABC in a tough position.
Karoline Leavitt is the press secretary at the White House, doing a great job. Such a great job that the ladies of The View feel the green monster coming upon them.
Adding fuel to the fire, reports started circulating that ABC executives had been holding emergency meetings for days leading up to Behar's departure. Sources from within the network claimed that the executives were in panic mode, fearing that the lawsuit could spiral into a bigger reputational crisis for the network. Even though ABC has faced criticism in the past for The View's often polarizing content, this particular scandal was considered uniquely damaging because of its legal consequences. One insider described the atmosphere at ABC as tense and chaotic, with executives walking on eggshells, trying to balance their loyalty to Behar with the mounting external pressure to take action.
They really don't like this woman. She's a good communicator. And so Joy Behar just offered her analysis on why Leavitt was picked for the role.
Behind closed doors, staff members at The View were split into two groups. Some staunchly supported Behar, arguing that while her comment may have been inappropriate, it didn't warrant such intense backlash. Others, however, felt that Behar's comment crossed a serious line, especially considering her history of claiming to stand for women's achievements. One anonymous staff member allegedly told an outlet, "This isn't the first time Joy has gotten us into hot water, but this time it feels like there's no way to recover."
Dang, Rowan, I couldn't do that at 27. No nonsense, straight to the point, courage, detail.
This divide among staff members reportedly created a toxic work environment, with rumors swirling about whether other co-hosts might also face fallout from the scandal. As for the legal aspect, experts weighed in on whether Behar's remarks could be considered defamation. Some legal experts argued that Jean-Pierre's lawsuit had a strong case, especially because Behar's comments were specific and personal. On the other hand, other experts suggested that Jean-Pierre might struggle to prove malice, which is often necessary in defamation cases involving public figures.
But even factoring in that she's a nice-looking lady, I love that the Liv's attacks on conservatives right now are that we're hot and cool.
Regardless of how the lawsuit plays out, it's clear that the legal battle ahead will be messy, with ABC potentially caught in the middle. In the midst of all this, Jean-Pierre spoke out publicly. In an exclusive interview with a conservative media outlet, she didn't hold back. She called Behar's comment not only unprofessional but also sexist, further fueling the outrage against Behar. Jean-Pierre used the opportunity to list her qualifications and accomplishments, making it clear that her role as press secretary wasn't due to her appearance but her experience and qualifications. Jean-Pierre's decision to sue and stand up for herself has only strengthened her position, earning praise from many people who viewed her as responding with grace and strength. As the legal battle continues, it's clear that her profile has been raised in a big way. Then, in a move that no one expected, ABC made the announcement that Behar was leaving The View. The timing of this announcement, coming just days after Jean-Pierre filed her lawsuit, led many people to believe that this wasn't an entirely voluntary exit. While ABC's official statement simply said that Behar had decided to step away from the show, insiders claimed that ABC had effectively forced her out in order to protect the future of The View. The View has been through controversy before, but this particular scandal may have been too much to overcome. Public reaction to Behar's departure has been mixed. Some viewers are celebrating, saying it's about time Behar faced the consequences for her controversial remarks. One person wrote, "Maybe they need to cancel ABC Network to fix all of the problems." Others questioned why The View was still on air at all. On the other hand, some longtime fans of the show are sad to see Behar go. They argue that her departure is the result of political pressure and that ABC gave in to outside influences. Conservative commentators are treating Behar's exit as a win, viewing it as a rare example of accountability in what they see as a biased media environment. There's also a great deal of irony in the entire situation. Behar has spent years positioning herself as a champion of women's rights and empowerment. She has often criticized others for making dismissive comments about women. Yet in a single moment, she managed to do the very thing she's spent her career railing against. This hypocrisy hasn't gone unnoticed, and many are pointing out how Behar's comment about Jean-Pierre was the exact kind of dismissive attitude she has long criticized. So, what does this all mean for The View? The show now finds itself at a major crossroads. Behar was one of its most iconic voices, and her absence creates a large gap in the show's dynamic. ABC will have to carefully consider how they move forward. Will they try to replace her with another outspoken liberal voice? Or will they aim for a more balanced panel with a more conservative perspective? Regardless of the direction they take, it's clear that The View has a tough road ahead in rebuilding its reputation and regaining the trust of its audience. As for Behar, her future remains uncertain. Will she fight the lawsuit and try to clear her name, or will she quietly step out of the spotlight? One thing is for sure, her legacy as one of the most controversial and polarizing figures in daytime television is cemented. And what about Karine Jean-Pierre? The lawsuit she filed has certainly raised her profile, but it's also placed her at the center of a media storm. Will this legal battle help her cause, or will it backfire in ways no one can predict? This drama is far from over. The fallout from Behar's exit and the ongoing lawsuit will likely dominate headlines for weeks, if not months. With public trust in mainstream media already at an all-time low, this controversy could be the breaking point for The View. Will the show recover, or is this the beginning of the end for one of the most iconic talk shows in TV history? What do you think? Did ABC make the right decision by letting Joy Behar go, or was she unfairly pushed out? Can The View survive without one of its most infamous hosts? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember to like and subscribe to stay updated on all the latest developments in this explosive scandal. The story is far from finished, so stay tuned for more twists and turns.